Every character, location, or experience you've read about in my crime fiction novels holds a piece of reality. I'm Helen Taylor. Welcome to the story behind my stories, where crime fiction meets authentic experience. This season, I'm sitting down with authors who have their own powerful stories behind their stories. We explore the real moments, lived experiences, and unexpected twists that shaped their writing, whether fiction or non-fiction. Join me as we go behind the words on the page to uncover the backstory that inspired their work. Today I have author Hansa with me for a relaxed chat about the story behind her book, Stress to Success in 28 Days. Welcome, Hansa.
Thank you very much, Helen. It's lovely to be here with you and your audience.
It's great to have you here with me to talk about the story behind your book. I've bought and read your book, and it's very much a how-to book. It covers similar information as a lot of books out there on a holistic approach to live more present and let go of what holds us back. But your book is very much more a step-by-step with some great little pictures in it. Do you find that that step-by-step program is what people need?
Yes, that approach and that outline of the book was inspired by my day-to-day work because majority of my clients who I help and are experiencing stress and want to enhance their well-being are very busy people and life is very busy. And the most common thing I hear from them is they haven't got time. So uh, I thought that if I could help them to do just one small thing every day that just takes 2 or 3 minutes of their time every day, and just do this for 28 days, and the 28 days sets out those little natural well-being interventions that have no side effects, that don't take a lot of time, don't cost anything, and they get into the practice of integrating this into their busy routine. Then by the end of 28 days, they are taking away a few favorites and they have integrated those favorites into their day, which will turn things around for them in terms of being stress-free and healthy and well.
Yes, my next question was that I meditate and I prioritize my sleep and getting physical activity in every day, but finding the time in a busy schedule is really hard. Um,
Yes.
do you practice what you preach, and how do you suggest people find that time?
Absolutely. I walk the talk, and all the techniques I share are things that I've done myself and things that clients and the people around me in my own circle have come back to me and say that have transformed their lives. And so the more I hear that these techniques are making a change, the more passionate I am about sharing these techniques with the wider world and growing my audience. Um, so I do yoga every day. I meditate every day. I go for a walk in nature. Uh, most days in the week, but at least 4 to 5 days in the week. Uh, Practice breathing techniques. I eat a plant-based healthy diet. Uh, I think positive and put my trust in the flow of life and the rhythm of the universe. And everything that I share with people, whether they're clients or friends and family, and my audience, is things I know works and has worked for me and has worked for other people. And the most beautiful thing about these techniques are they don't cost anything, they've got no side effects, and they don't take up a lot of time. And to come back to the question, the other question you asked about how do we find time for these things, then it's just integrating these things in your day-to-day things. So, for example, if you're making a cup of tea while the kettle's boiling, you can be doing 3 deep breaths. Um, when you're eating, uh, that's going to take time anyway. But instead of watching TV, you have your meal mindfully, um, taking the stairs, getting off the station one stop ahead and walking up the last stop. Um, Watching less television. So a lot of people say to me they haven't got the time, but when I ask them, how much television do you watch and how many hours a week do you spend scrolling on your phone, looking at social media? I am absolutely aghast at how much valuable time we spend doing these things when all those things could go towards our well-being. So even if you're watching 2 hours of television and you cut that down to 1.5, that is your meditation time. That is your time to go for a walk. And if you're going to have lunch on your desk at work and then spend the rest of the time scrolling through your phone, that's the time you could be going for a walk or doing your relaxation or your breathing. And really, it is about tweaking what we already do in our daily routines to find time for our well-being, because that's absolutely got to be number one priority for us. And it's also about shifting our priorities so that our well-being becomes our number one priority.
So I think it's developing the habit, and
Hmm.
then it's like meditating. When you start meditating, it's really difficult. But when you get used to sort of clicking into that mode, you can do it anyway. You can do it on your train commute up into
Yeah.
London. You can do it anywhere
Yes.
once you've mastered the skill.
Yeah.
Um, I've been trying your walking, breathing
Hmm.
thing, and I think
Yeah.
I walk too fast. I think I'm because I'm walking the dog, and I'm just thinking, oh yeah, I'll try that again, and it's getting there, but it takes some practice
Yeah.
to
Yeah. The
get you.
mindful walking. Yeah.
Yes,
I'd just like to go back on a point that you just made earlier about um, getting the meditation right, and meditation is not a skill, it's just a way of being. And there is no right or wrong about meditation. And every day your meditation will be different depending on what's going on in your life at that time. So there's no such thing as a perfect spell of meditation or a perfect session of meditation. It is what happens on that particular day. So one day you'll be able to have a very calm session where your thoughts are not interrupted, and you'll be able to focus on whatever you're anchoring your meditation on, whether it's a mantra or your breathing or whatever. Uh, Yet another day, your mind would be all over the place. But both those are fine and they're both right. What you have done is you've sat down away from the daily noise and hustle, and you've given yourself the time just to be present with yourself. And if your thoughts are running all over the place, it doesn't mean your meditation is wrong. It means you are aware of your thoughts and you're aware of what's going on in your mind, and you are with that awareness. So there's no such thing as the right or wrong meditation. The important thing is you make that time out and just be present with yourself and be present with your thoughts or your body or whatever's going on with you that day,
yeah,
because just doing that is very grounding and healing.
yeah, yeah. That's what we were taught. I'd tried many times before I went. into a what in Thailand, and then did 10 days of just meditating. And and yes, it's all about the awareness of the present, not this blank brain thing.
Yeah,
It is awareness
yeah,
of what you are, your thoughts and
yeah,
what you're thinking, and bringing back to the breath, etc.
yeah. And also the word try, you don't try to meditate, you just meditate. Whatever
Yeah.
whatever happens, happens. You don't have to try to do anything. You just have to be in that moment and just accept whatever happens in that moment for 5, 10 minutes or whatever it is. So really, it doesn't need any trying. It's just about being.
Okay. So now this isn't the only book that you have out. You have a children's set.
Yeah, so
And how
I've
did
published,
that come about?
yeah, so in total, I've published 10 books and I'm writing my 11th one at the moment. So, following the Stress to Success in 28 Days, which was me pulling together all the techniques that had helped me and all the techniques that came through my research that helped me and that were helping my clients, I pulled them together and I made it into a 28-day program. And then I also wrote Stress to Success Stories, which is inspired by real transformations with people that I have worked on an individual and on a business level. And I've done these two books, and then COVID happened, and I saw my granddaughter trying to make sense of what was going on, and she was feeling anxious. She was 6 at that time, and I thought, well, how can I use my stress management and well-being expertise to help children? And that's how the Chakraji relaxation series for children came about. So I wrote one kind of picture book story, and then I found a good illustrator. And in the book, there's a story where a child is feeling a little bit stressed about certain situation, and then this beautiful bird comes and takes the child away to this beautiful uh, land, where there's rainbows and everything, and introduces the child to Chakraji, who is the child's best friend. And Chakraji teaches the child this little natural technique to help them with their whatever anxiety they were feeling. And then on the way back, the bird also teaches the child positive affirmations. So when the child comes home, and if the child is feeling anxious about anything, uh, he or she does the relaxation, works on the affirmations, and it becomes a coping technique for life. And there's 6 books, so each book has a different technique, each book has a different setting and backdrop, a different bird, different affirmations. So the 6 series of books really does give the child life skills that they can use whenever they're feeling anxious or stressed about anything.
Brilliant. And the feedback you've had on that, are the kids loving it?
They're loving it, they're loving Chakraji, and I get they love the character, and when they say, because she's very beautiful and she's very gentle and kind, and yeah, they take to her, they love her, so yeah, feedback is beautiful. Yeah.
Okay, so what's next and what are you working on at the moment?
So at the moment, I'm working on the third book in my trilogy. So as you know, Best of One World also happened during the COVID. I started to live an eco-friendly life and be more conscious about the planet and the climate crisis. And I started my journey to live in an eco-friendly way. And I turned this into uh, a book, Best of One World, 60 Steps to a Sustainable, Meaningful, Joyful Life. And then a few years ago, I had written Best of Three Worlds, which is my memoir. So, to give you a bit of background, I was born in Kenya as a British subject, but of Indian origin. And when I came to the UK, people were always asking me, "So, oh, when did you come from India?" And I said, "Oh, I've never lived in India, and I was born in Kenya." So, "Oh, but you look Indian. Why were you born, Kenya?" And then I had to give this story, about India was a British colony, and then my grandparents moved to Kenya, and my dad was there, so we were born as British people, and then we moved to UK. And when I wrote Best of Three Worlds, I'd already done my Stress to Success books, and one of my friends said I had to write my memoir because hardly any people are aware of the first person narratives of people growing up in a British colony, and also the rich identity that we have of these three continents together, Indian, African, and English. And, to us, it was normal, and we grew up with all those rich cultures, the fusion of all those rich cultures. So that's how Best of Three Worlds, a historical, cultural journey across three continents came up. And then one day I was meditating, and I thought, shall I write another book? Shall I not write another book? And when I finished meditating, the contents of this book kind of just came up. And so this book is going to be called The Best of All Worlds, which I'm writing at the moment. And it is about how living a sustainable and eco-friendly life enhances your well-being on all dimensions, physical, mental, social, financial, organizational, and there's 9 chapters of different dimensions. Because as you know, Helen, I'm just curious and fascinated about everything and anything well-being. And whatever I do, I think about how does this impact on our well-being? Does this enhance our well-being? Does this disrupt our health well-being? And what I discovered during my eco-friendly journey was that living that way really ignites your well-being. I discovered that, and it really did ignite my well-being and all these different levels that I never imagined, even though I thought I was doing everything anyone could possibly do towards their well-being, all the things I've listed before. But this additional dimension of living in an eco-friendly way added this new dimension to my well-being. And I wanted to share this journey with people. And then I want to share how this way of living can just be so profound for our well-being on all these levels. And that's what I'm researching at the moment, and that's what I'm writing about at the moment.
Brilliant. I look forward to that one coming out.
Hmm.
So, where can people find you? Buy your books, find your courses, get in touch.
So my book website is hansapankhania.com. And I spell it because my surname is not easy to spell. So first name is HANSAPANKHANIA.com. So all my books are available there. They're also, if you type Hansa Pankhania in Amazon, all my books will come up. And all my courses, so we offer counseling, stress, different aspects of stress management, mental health, and well-being courses. And we do individual coaching as well, and we offer group training to corporations, charities, whoever wants to live in a stress-free and optimum well-being way. For that, my website is aumconsultancy.co.uk, and all the programs that we offer, all the courses that we offer are on there. We also send a well-being blog to our audience every month. And if you go to either of these websites, Hansa, Pankhania.com, you can subscribe to our monthly newsletters, and whatever I'm discovering on a well-being level and whatever new I'm learning um, through my research for my next book, I'll write a blog and then I'll share the blog with my audience. So if you want to receive this, you just go to hansapankhania.com, give us your details, and you'll get our monthly blog.
Brilliant. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you, Hansa, for joining me today and sharing the story behind your story.
Thank you so much, Helen. It's been a pleasure being there, and thank you for inviting me. Bless you, and bless all of our readers and our audience.
Today's conversation has sparked something for you. All the links and info that Hans has just told you are in the show notes. Please like the episode, follow for more stories behind the story from me, your host, Helen Taylor, and other authors who will share the story behind their story. Thank you.